Today I want to talk to you about somebody who really has Moxie, and there's no excuses when it comes to individuality and independence. And he's an artist. His name is Bill Cunningham. He actually works for the New York Times. And usually I don't really like the New York Times because I think they are pretty biased when it comes to reporting news. However, Bill Cunningham, he has been a photographer there for a very long time. And he does a segment called On the Street. Here's a little picture of him. But he takes pictures of all the famous people in New York and the not so famous people also. Pretty much just whatever the culture is going on in New York City at the time. So there's a documentary about his life, and I'm not into fashion very much. I mean, you would never know, obviously, because I am very stylish. Actually, most of my stuff comes from consignment shops, but anyway, so Bill Cunningham lives in a very, very tiny apartment. I mean, it's literally probably as big as this room, and he stores every negative picture that he's ever taken in filing cabinets. So pretty much it's his bed and filing cabinets, and that's it. And he rides around on a bicycle in New York. He doesn't own a car. He was in the military. He's a veteran. And interesting, he is Catholic, I believe, and he goes to church every Sunday. And, you know, I'm not into religion, but I definitely think that it can be very helpful and provide people with, you know, something more to believe in. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, you know. So anyway, so I was so inspired after watching his documentary. I mean, you know, somebody else did this about him. It wasn't like him promoting himself. He's just so genuine. I mean, just so wonderful. And, you know, he doesn't worry, I don't think, about, like, status or what people are thinking about him. He just goes out, he does his thing, and he seems to be very, very happy. So, to me, he has total Moxie, because he doesn't care what people think. He, I don't think, is very, you know, into family, although it sounds like he has a family, but they weren't sure, like, what he was doing with his life when after he got out of the military, and they were like, oh, you want to be a photographer? Which, it's been a while since I saw the documentary, but I would say he started in the 50s, I think, so he's been there a long time, and he's still going to work every day. I mean, he's in his 80s, I think, still goes to work every day, and, so, to me, if you're doing something you really love, you're not listening, you're shutting out the outside world, and you're just doing it because you love it. And he buys all of his own film. When he goes to Fashion Week in Paris, he buys his own plane tickets because he doesn't want the New York Times to own him, so to speak. He still wants to be very independent. So, I mean, how courageous is that, especially these days? So anyway, I wrote him a letter. I was so inspired after watching it. I wrote him a letter, and I didn't think I would ever hear back from him. I just wanted to let him know that I was totally inspired by him, and I admired him, and I thought he was very courageous. And a couple weeks later, he sent me a picture that he had taken. I framed it, of course. But he sent me a picture he had taken in Bryant Park, and sent me a nice little note back. So, you know, I just think it's pretty wonderful. So if you get a chance to see his documentary, this is a guy who's totally full of Moxie. You know, sounds like he's got a lot of character and courage, and yeah, so it's very inspiring. Bill Cunningham, look at the documentary. I think it's available on Amazon. It is definitely worth a watch. Bye! Oh, make sure you check out something that will change your life.